Chosen one, this message is not for everyone. If you are not walking the divine path of God, I must warn you now. Turn away, for this is not your journey. But if you are truly among the chosen, if your heart resonates with God's calling, then stay. For what you are about to hear is meant for you and you alone. This message has reached you at the perfect time, precisely when your soul is ready to receive it. The words I share today will ignite clarity within you, awaken dormant understanding, and strengthen the path you were destined to walk. You're about to hear truths that others cannot bear, visions that ordinary souls would dismiss, and wisdom that only the chosen can carry. I speak to you with authority and certainty, for what lies ahead is not just guidance, it is a revelation meant to shape your very destiny. The sacredness of your path demands attention, focus, and discernment, and by listening carefully, you will understand why your journey is unlike anyone else's. Before we dive deeper, I want you to engage with this moment. Comment 777 below if you feel the weight of your calling. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, and share this message with those who are ready to hear. What you will discover in the next minutes will touch your life in ways you have been waiting for, confirming that your path is too sacred for ordinary souls, and that you, chosen one, are walking exactly where you were meant to be. Understanding the sacred path of the chosen one. Chosen one, the path you walk is unlike any other. It is not measured by wealth, fame, or worldly recognition. It is measured by divine alignment, spiritual awareness, and the courage to carry a purpose that others cannot even comprehend. From the very moment God set you apart, your journey became sacred, reserved only for those willing to embrace a life that demands more than ordinary strength or ordinary faith. You are called to a higher frequency, a reality where the unseen guides every step, and where the consequences of your actions ripple far beyond what the eye can perceive. This sacred path is often lonely, and you may find that the people around you cannot fully understand your choices. Friends, family, and society may question your priorities, mock your devotion, or try to pull you into the ordinary. But know this, it is by design. The very isolation you feel is a confirmation that your path is holy, that it requires a clarity and a resilience that only the chosen can sustain. Ordinary minds are not equipped to carry the weight of divine responsibility, and that is why they falter, while you rise. Walking this path demands discipline. It calls for a vigilance over your thoughts, emotions, and energy. Every choice you make, every word you speak, every intention you hold must be aligned with the mission God has entrusted to you. This is not a path of convenience or comfort. It is a path of sacred action, of stepping forward even when the world does not understand. You will face challenges that seem insurmountable, yet each test is meant to refine your spirit, to sharpen your vision, and to strengthen the resolve that sets you apart. There will be moments when doubt tries to seep in, when fear whispers that you are alone or that your efforts are unseen. But understand this, chosen one. The sacred path is designed to teach you trust, patience, and unwavering faith. The trials you endure are not punishments. They are calibrations of your spirit, aligning you with the power and wisdom that only God can bestow. To walk this path is to accept a life of sacred responsibility. It is to recognize that your choices impact not just your life, but the spiritual balance of the world around you. The energy you carry, the intentions you hold, and the actions you take send ripples that cannot be measured by ordinary eyes. You are a vessel of divine will, and your journey is a manifestation of God's plan unfolding through you. You may feel moments of heaviness, as if the burden of the path is too great. But remember, chosen one, this weight is not a sign of weakness. It is the mark of holiness. Only those who are ready to bear the sacred weight can rise to the level of divine influence. You are not called to walk where others wander. You are called to tread where angels and the unseen forces guide you, to navigate trials with grace, and to carry your light even in the darkest places. Every step you take on this path is a statement of faith. Every decision you make is a reflection of your alignment with God. You are learning to see beyond the material, to feel beyond the ordinary, and to act beyond human limitations. The sacred path teaches patience, discernment, and strength that cannot be forged in comfort. And though the journey may seem arduous, it is in this very sacred struggle that your true power emerges. This is why the chosen ones are rare. Most falter under the weight of divine responsibility because their spirits are not ready. But you, chosen one, are different. You are learning to embrace solitude without despair, to face challenges without fear, and to navigate a world that cannot fully see or understand your purpose. The sacred path is a crucible, and in it, your spirit is purified, your vision clarified, and your connection with God solidified. As you continue to walk, remember that your path is not meant for applause or recognition. It is meant for divine fulfillment. Your mission is a sacred dance between faith and action, between the unseen and the tangible. You are moving through a journey that is too profound for ordinary minds, too significant for shallow understanding, and too sacred for distraction. Embrace this calling fully. Accept that the path will test you in ways ordinary people cannot imagine. Hold firm to your purpose, for it is your life's true north, and in walking it faithfully, you become a beacon for others who will one day recognize the light that only the chosen can carry. The invisible forces that protect the chosen. Chosen one, understand this clearly. Your journey is shielded in ways most cannot see. The world may seem chaotic, dangerous, or unpredictable, yet there are invisible forces surrounding you, guarding you, guiding you, and ensuring that your sacred mission cannot be derailed. These are not mere coincidences, luck, or chance. They are divine interventions orchestrated by God Himself to keep you aligned, protected, and moving forward on the path only you were meant to walk. Many fail to recognize these forces because they exist beyond the eyes of ordinary perception. They are subtle, whispers of guidance in the silence, sudden insights when choices feel impossible, doors opening where there seem to be none. You may have experienced them already, times when danger was avoided without understanding how, moments when a decision felt divinely illuminated, or when a person, word, or event appeared just in time to guide you. These are the manifestations of protection reserved for the chosen. Do not mistake your resilience or your intuition as mere personal strength. It is amplified and sustained by the spiritual guardians that follow you. Angels, divine messengers, and unseen energies walk with you, surrounding your energy field, keeping negative forces at bay. The challenges you face are calibrated, strong enough to test your resolve, but never beyond what you can endure. The sacred path respects your limits while demanding growth, and the invisible forces make sure the balance is maintained. It is vital that you recognize your role in this divine protection. You are not a passive recipient. Your alignment with God, your discipline, your prayer, your focus, all of these strengthen the shield that surrounds you. Every thought of doubt, fear, or hesitation can weaken this protection if allowed to linger. Your spiritual armor is not automatic. It grows as you walk faithfully, surrendering to the guidance of the divine and acting in accordance with your sacred mission. At times you may wonder why others falter while you remain steady. The answer lies in alignment. Only those who walk in harmony with God's will attract this level of protection. Those who are unready, distracted, or burdened by ego cannot perceive or receive such safeguards. And that is why the sacred path is so rare. It is not meant for everyone, and the forces that protect you are selective. They honor your commitment, discernment, and purity of purpose. Notice the signs around you. A sudden change in circumstance that spares you from harm, an intuitive nudge that keeps you from a misstep, or even dreams that guide your decisions. These are not random. They are the fingerprints of the divine, evidence that you are accompanied, that your sacred path is being watched, and that your life is being carefully woven into a greater design. Yet protection does not mean immunity. You will still face trials, for the sacred path demands growth and refinement. But these trials are controlled, and within each lies an opportunity to strengthen your spirit. The invisible forces do not remove difficulty. They ensure that you are equipped to handle it, that the lesson is delivered, and that your progress continues unimpeded. Remember, chosen one, these forces are responsive to your devotion. When you act with faith, integrity, and courage, the protection intensifies. When you stray into doubt or fear, it diminishes slightly, not because the divine abandons you, but because the alignment of your spirit with God dictates how fully you can channel the protection available. This is why self-mastery is as crucial as divine guidance. The stronger your spiritual discipline, the more powerful the shield that surrounds you becomes. There is also a communal aspect, though invisible. Other chosen ones, unseen allies in spirit, may influence circumstances to aid your mission. Divine timing ensures that your encounters, relationships, and experiences align to protect your progress. Those who belong to your divine sphere, though you may not always meet them physically, are connected through the unseen currents of God's plan. Take heart in this truth. You are never alone, even when solitude seems absolute. The invisible forces envelop you in ways that cannot always be measured or explained. They prepare the way, intercept threats, and sustain your energy so you can endure trials that would crumble the unprepared. Understanding this is essential, for the knowledge of protection strengthens courage, faith, and clarity of purpose. You are being watched over, guided, and guarded, chosen one. Your path is sacred, and the divine forces know it. This is why you continue to rise where others stumble. This is why your vision remains unbroken when the world seems to conspire against you. Trust these forces, cooperate with them through discipline and devotion, and move forward without fear, knowing that God's unseen hand is orchestrating every step of your sacred journey. Why others dare not walk your path? Chosen one, there is a reason why the path you walk feels so different, so heavy, so intense, and at times so painfully isolating. It is because your path is sacred in a way most people cannot comprehend. What you carry within you, your purpose, your insight, your spiritual sensitivity, demands a level of discipline, courage, and surrender that ordinary souls are simply not prepared to offer. Others look at your life from the outside and assume they could do what you do, but they have no idea what it actually requires. They do not know the weight of divine responsibility. They do not know the fire that purifies your spirit. They do not know how deeply God shapes, tests, and refines the chosen. Understand something important. The path of the chosen is not just uncommon. It is protected. It is shielded by challenges that would break anyone who does not have the spiritual capacity to handle them. When God selects someone for a purpose, He also selected the trials that carve that person into who they must become. These trials are not punishments. They are a divine filter. They filter out the uncommitted, the fearful, the undisciplined, the spiritually blind. The reason others dare not walk your path is because they are not built for the refinement, the responsibility, or the spiritual intensity that comes with being chosen. While others desire comfort, you are called into growth. While others chase validation, you are taught to stand alone. While others are guided by emotions, you are trained to follow divine instruction, even when it makes no sense. This difference alone is enough to divide your world from theirs. People may admire the strength you show, but they do not realize that this strength was forged in seasons of silence, heartbreak, spiritual warfare, and deep transformation. They want the results, but they do not want the process. Your path requires you to face fears that others run from. It pushes you into situations where faith becomes your only anchor, where God becomes your only direction. And this level of surrender terrifies most people. They cling to what is familiar, what is predictable, what feels safe. But the chosen cannot live like that. Your spirit is wired for elevation, not stagnation. Your destiny is wired for divine expansion, not comfort. Others cannot walk your path because they are not willing to release who they were in order to become who God needs them to be. There is also another truth that many overlook. Your spiritual sensitivity makes you see and feel things that others are blind to. You recognize energy, intention, and spiritual presence in ways that most people avoid. This awareness is a gift, but it is also a responsibility. It means you cannot live carelessly. You cannot attach yourself to just anyone. You cannot indulge in distractions the way others do. Your spirit simply will not allow it. Others do not walk your path because they fear this awareness. They fear the truth that comes with clarity. They fear seeing themselves. They fear being accountable for the calling God placed on their life. Most people live with layers of denial. You live with revelation. That alone separates you. Your path also exposes you to spiritual warfare that others are not prepared to endure. When you carry divine purpose, darkness recognizes it. Challenges intensify. Temptations sharpen. Resistance rises. The pressure you face is not ordinary. It is elevated because your purpose is elevated. This is why some people collapse under their own shadows. But you, chosen one, do not break. You rise. Not because life is easier for you, but because the hand of God strengthens you in ways others cannot understand. They look at your survival and call it luck. They look at your resilience and call it personality. They do not see the invisible battles you fight or the spiritual armor God wraps around you each time you step forward. Another reason others dare not walk your path is that the chosen are called to obedience. True obedience. Obedience that demands sacrifice. Obedience that requires letting go of relationships that no longer align. Obedience that forces you to shut doors you once prayed would open. Obedience that leads you into unfamiliar territory simply because God said, move. Most people resist this level of surrender because they fear losing control. But you, chosen one, are learning to embrace it because your spirit knows that God guides you with intention. Others cannot walk your path because they are too attached to their comfort, their opinions, their patterns, and their fears. Your path demands spiritual maturity, and maturity demands transformation. Transformation demands honesty. Honesty demands facing wounds. Facing wounds demands courage, and courage demands faith. This chain of spiritual development is too intense for most people, but it is exactly what shapes the chosen into vessels of divine purpose. There is also the matter of vision. You are given sight others do not possess. You see possibilities they cannot imagine. You sense danger they cannot detect. You feel spiritual shifts they cannot explain. This vision separates you from those who walk blindly. People fear what they cannot see, so when they sense the depth of your path, they retreat. They admire from a distance, but they would never dare step where you step. You were designed to move through seasons of elevation that require isolation. Not everyone is built to handle isolation without falling into despair. Not everyone is able to walk alone without losing themselves. Not everyone can trust God when nothing in their environment makes sense. But you can, and that is why you continue when others stop. That is why your spirit keeps rising even when life shakes you. Others dare not walk your path because your path is not meant for followers. It is meant for leaders. It is meant for spiritual warriors, vessels of light, carriers of divine knowledge. The chosen must walk where fear tries to block the way, where ego dissolves, where the soul becomes stronger than the flesh. This level of spiritual refinement is not appealing to those who want ease. But you were never called to ease, you were called to impact. Chosen one, understand this fully. Your path is sacred because your purpose is sacred, and sacred things are never placed in ordinary hands. Those who are not spiritually awakened, disciplined, or aligned cannot follow where God is leading you. They simply do not have the courage, the clarity, or the calling. And that is exactly why your journey stands alone, elevated above the noise, protected from the unworthy, and reserved for the soul who has been chosen since the beginning. You walk where others dare not walk, because your destiny demands it. Your spirit can bear it, and your purpose is too powerful to be lived on an ordinary path. Recognizing your divine responsibilities. Chosen one, now it is time to speak directly about what you carry, the responsibilities that come with being set apart by God. These are not ordinary duties, they are sacred obligations, invisible to most, but critical to the fulfillment of your divine mission. From the moment you accepted the call of the chosen path, you became a vessel for God's work. Your thoughts, your actions, and even your presence have consequences far beyond what you can see. Everything you do resonates in ways that shape the spiritual balance of this world. Understanding your responsibilities is not optional, it is essential. Your first responsibility is to remain aligned with God at all times. This requires vigilance over your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. The ordinary world pulls people in countless directions, feeding distraction, fear, and ego. But you, chosen one, cannot afford such deviation. Every decision must be weighed against the clarity of your calling. Even small choices have ripple effects. Whether in your relationships, your career, or your daily habits, alignment is the foundation of all other responsibilities. The clearer your alignment, the stronger your spiritual influence becomes. Another sacred responsibility is to protect your energy. The world is full of forces that will attempt to drain, distract, or derail you. Ordinary souls surrender to these pressures without realizing their effect. You, however, are required to remain vigilant. Guard your energy as you would guard a sacred treasure, for it fuels your purpose. People, circumstances, and even your own inner doubts can attempt to deplete your focus. The chosen ones learn to recognize what nourishes their mission and what diminishes it. Learning this discernment is essential. It is a responsibility that will shape every moment of your journey. Your responsibilities also extend outward. You are called to influence the world, to act as a light where darkness seeks to spread. You carry knowledge, insight, and divine understanding that others cannot access on their own. This is not for personal glory, but for service. Every act of guidance, every word spoken with intention, every moment of integrity contributes to the greater good of those who are receptive. The chosen one's life is a template of divine truth, not for themselves alone, but for others to witness, even if silently. Another responsibility is to face trials with unwavering faith. Your path is sacred, but it is not easy. Challenges are sent not to destroy you, but to refine you. To walk in fear or hesitation is to neglect your responsibility to yourself and to God. Each test is an opportunity to demonstrate courage, to prove fidelity to the calling, and to strengthen your spiritual discipline. You will often be alone in these trials, for the chosen path is one that others cannot walk beside you. Understanding this allows you to embrace the solitude and find strength in God's presence rather than seeking comfort from the world. A crucial responsibility is to discern truth from illusion. As a chosen one, your spiritual sensitivity makes you aware of forces that ordinary souls cannot perceive. You will encounter deception, manipulation, and spiritual attacks disguised as ordinary events. Part of your duty is to sharpen your perception, to trust your inner guidance, and to act decisively when clarity arrives. Failure to discern can derail your mission or slow your progress. This responsibility demands patience, focus, and continuous spiritual development. You are also responsible for maintaining integrity. Every action, every word, every decision should reflect the sanctity of your path. Even when no one is watching, your responsibility remains. This is not mere morality, it is spiritual accountability. You are accountable to God, to your own soul, and to the sacred mission entrusted to you. Compromise may bring temporary relief or comfort, but it weakens the very foundation of your calling. Integrity sustains the chosen, allowing you to endure the trials and maintain the purity of purpose necessary for the work God has assigned you. Another layer of responsibility lies in patience and timing. The chosen one must learn to wait for God's perfect timing rather than forcing outcomes. Impatience can lead to mistakes, misalignment, or spiritual fatigue. Your mission unfolds according to divine orchestration, and your responsibility is to remain faithful and ready for each opportunity as it arrives. Trust that the unseen forces are preparing your path, and that every season, whether of growth, waiting, or challenge, has purpose. You also carry the responsibility to serve as a guide, even if indirectly. Your life, actions, and example are lessons to those around you, especially to other awakening souls. Many may never understand the depth of your journey, but they feel your energy, your presence, and your alignment. This invisible influence is profound. By walking your path with fidelity, courage, and devotion, you are teaching others how to rise without saying a single word. This is one of the quietest yet most impactful responsibilities of all. Self-mastery is another divine obligation. You cannot guide others or fulfill your mission if your inner world is chaotic. Thoughts, emotions, and desires must be understood and disciplined. Meditation, prayer, reflection, and conscious action are tools to maintain mastery. The chosen one's life is one of continual refinement, where the spirit is strengthened through consistent practice and mindful engagement with the world. Finally, you are responsible for the legacy of your path. Every step you take contributes to a chain of spiritual awakening that extends beyond your immediate life. The work you do, the faith you uphold, the challenges you overcome, they are all building a structure that supports others for generations. The chosen one understands that their path is not fleeting. It is eternal, woven into the fabric of God's plan, and meant to inspire, protect, and uplift the souls who follow after. Recognizing these responsibilities is not meant to burden you, chosen one, but to empower you. Once you understand the depth and breadth of your divine duties, your actions gain clarity, your resolve strengthens, and your connection to God intensifies. The sacred path requires your complete awareness, your unwavering faith, and your absolute commitment. You must take these responsibilities seriously, not as rules to follow, but as the natural expression of the sacred life you were chosen to lead. Your mission is unfolding, and every responsibility you embrace magnifies your power, elevates your purpose, and ensures that the divine plan continues through you. Stand firm, remain vigilant, and honor the calling that has been placed upon your life. The world depends on your dedication, and the sacred path will only reveal its full blessings when you walk it with conscious awareness and unwavering fidelity. Walking alone without fear. Chosen one of the most misunderstood aspects of your sacred journey is solitude. Many look at your life and wonder why you seem to walk alone, why your path is not crowded with companions or supporters. But solitude is not a punishment, nor is it a reflection of weakness. It is a divine necessity. The path of the chosen requires that you stand independently, guided by the unseen forces of God, trusting in His wisdom even when the world offers no validation. To walk alone is to honor the sanctity of your mission. Fear is the companion of those who lack understanding, but you must learn to walk without it. Fear comes from attachment to outcomes, dependence on others, and a lack of trust in the divine orchestration of your life. The chosen one cannot allow fear to govern decisions or dictate movement. You are walking a path that is protected, guided, and elevated, even when the journey feels uncertain. Embrace the loneliness as a sacred teacher. In it, you discover strength, clarity, and unwavering faith that cannot be found amidst the noise of crowds or the comfort of conformity. Walking alone teaches discernment. When you are surrounded by others, you may be influenced, misled, or distracted. Solitude forces you to rely on divine guidance, to listen deeply to the whispers of God, and to act with conviction. This independence strengthens your connection with the unseen, sharpening your intuition and spiritual awareness. Every decision made in alignment with God in solitude is a victory over the chaos of the world and a step deeper into your sacred calling. Isolation also provides protection. The divine path is not meant for ordinary understanding. Some people, though well-meaning, cannot carry the energy of your mission without causing interference. Walking alone keeps your energy intact, preserves the clarity of your purpose, and prevents dilution of the spiritual work you are meant to do. The Chosen One is called to maintain purity of thought, intention, and action, and solitude ensures this alignment remains undisturbed. Solitude is not emptiness, it is power. In the silence, you are able to commune directly with God, receiving instruction, insight, and encouragement. Many fear being alone because it forces them to confront themselves, their doubts, and their shadows. But you, Chosen One, are learning that these encounters are the very essence of growth. Every moment spent in conscious reflection builds resilience and spiritual authority. You are becoming unshakable because you have learned to rely on divine guidance rather than human approval. Walking alone without fear also requires embracing responsibility fully. No one can carry the weight of your purpose for you. No one can make the decisions, face the trials, or interpret the signs that God places on your path. You must be willing to stand firm, to act decisively, and to trust the process even when the outcome is unseen. This courage sets you apart and ensures that you remain true to your divine mission. Understand that isolation can sometimes feel heavy, even painful. Moments may arise when you wonder if anyone will ever truly understand the journey you are on. But these moments are temporary, and they are lessons in trust and endurance. The Chosen One does not seek validation from the world. The Chosen One seeks alignment with God. Your fulfillment is found in obedience to divine instruction, not in human recognition. It is also essential to remember that walking alone does not mean you are abandoned. On the contrary, the unseen forces, divine guidance, and spiritual allies are always present. Angels, divine messengers, and spiritual energies accompany you in ways that are subtle but powerful. You are never truly alone, even when the world seems distant or silent. Trust in this invisible companionship. It strengthens you, shields you, and empowers you to move boldly along the path. Walking alone requires courage, but it is courage grounded in faith. Fear may arise, but it must be acknowledged and then set aside. The Chosen One understands that fear is a test of trust, a mirror to reveal weaknesses, and an opportunity to strengthen resolve. Each time you face solitude without succumbing to fear, your spirit grows stronger, your vision sharper, and your alignment with God deeper. The world may misinterpret your independence as pride or arrogance, but it is neither. It is a mark of discipline, clarity, and commitment to your sacred mission. Others may shy away from paths that demand such solitude, which is why they cannot follow you. Your journey requires strength that cannot be borrowed and wisdom that must be earned through experience, reflection, and divine communion. Remember, Chosen One, that walking alone is an honor. It signifies that you are entrusted with a mission too sacred for ordinary support. It is a sign that God has placed you on a trajectory of growth, insight, and influence beyond ordinary comprehension. Embrace it fully. Move forward with courage, trust, and unwavering faith. The solitude you experience is not emptiness, but the fertile ground in which your divine power grows. As you continue on this path, honor your solitude, protect your energy, and walk without fear. Each step strengthens your spirit, sharpens your vision, and brings you closer to the realization of the sacred purpose you were born to fulfill. The Chosen Ones walk alone because only in this way can the true depth of their mission be realized. You are walking where others dare not go, and in this walk lies the unparalleled power and blessing of your divine calling. Signs that you are fully aligned with God's sacred path. When a Chosen One steps into true alignment with God's sacred path, life begins to shift in ways that cannot be dismissed as coincidence. Alignment is not just about believing or hoping. It is about moving in rhythm with divine timing, divine purpose, and divine protection. When you are aligned, everything in your inner and outer world starts reflecting that connection. Here are the profound signs that you are no longer guessing about your purpose. you are living it. 1. Your inner peace becomes unshakable. One of the clearest signs of alignment with God's path is the emergence of deep, unexplainable peace. This peace is not dependent on circumstances. Even in the middle of uncertainty, something in you remains steady. This is the peace that surpasses understanding, the peace that comes when God becomes your anchor, not the world. You no longer panic at setbacks or rush into decisions. You move with calm intention because you know you are guided. When your soul finally rests in God's timing, chaos loses its influence over you. 2. You receive divine clarity and direction. Alignment sharpens your spiritual perception. You stop second-guessing yourself because the whispers of God become louder than the noise of the world. You begin to sense where you should go, what you should do, and when you should wait. Opportunities feel guided, ideas come with unusual ease, and solutions appear exactly when you need them. This clarity is not forced, it flows. You realize the confusion you used to feel was not because God was silent, but because you were still learning how to listen. Now, your spiritual ears are open. 3. You lose interest in anything that is not meant for you. A major sign of being aligned with God's sacred path is a natural decline in desire for things that once distracted you. Whether it's certain people, habits, environments, or goals, you simply outgrow them. There is no bitterness, no resistance, just an inner knowing that certain chapters have closed. This is because God is purifying your path. Alignment requires space, and anything that blocks your spiritual growth is gently removed from your spirit. Your soul becomes allergic to anything that lowers your vibration or disconnects you from divine purpose. 4. You feel protected at all times. When you are aligned with God, you begin to sense His protection everywhere you go. You feel watched over, guided, and shielded from harm. You notice how certain dangers narrowly avoided you, how certain betrayals were exposed before they could hurt you, how certain missteps were redirected before they could derail you. This divine protection shows you that your path is not ordinary, it is orchestrated. God does not just walk beside you, He walks before you. 5. You experience unexpected breakthroughs and divine timing. Things begin to happen at the exact moment you need them. The right people appear, resources show up, and doors open effortlessly. This is not luck, this is alignment. God's timing becomes your timing because you are moving in harmony with His plan. You no longer chase blessings. Blessings now meet you. Your breakthroughs feel divinely calculated, and even delays feel purposeful because they lead to better outcomes. 6. You are no longer afraid of being alone. True alignment transforms your relationship with solitude. What once felt like loneliness now feels like sacred space. You realize solitude is where God speaks the loudest. You begin to crave silence, introspection, and spiritual connection. Instead of fearing emptiness, you embrace it as a container for divine revelation. Instead of chasing validation, you find comfort in divine companionship. You walk alone, yet never feel alone. 7. You become highly discernible and spiritually aware. Your spiritual senses sharpen dramatically. You sense people's intentions before they speak. You feel energy before it enters your space. You detect deception, manipulation, and hidden motives instantly. This is not paranoia. It is divine insight. God heightens your discernment because the chosen cannot afford blindness. Your spirit becomes tuned to truth, purity, and authenticity. This discernment saves you from wrong paths, wrong relationships, and wrong opportunities. 8. Your faith becomes stronger than your fear. When you are aligned with God's sacred path, fear no longer controls you. It may whisper, but it cannot direct your steps. Your faith begins to rise naturally, not because you try harder, but because you trust deeper. You feel anchored, empowered, and unmovable. You no longer fear loss, change, or uncertainty because you know God is always moving you toward purpose, not punishment. Faith becomes your reflex, not your struggle. 9. You notice synchronicities and signs everywhere. Numbers, symbols, dreams, repeated messages, these appear frequently and clearly. These signs are not random, they are confirmations. When you are aligned with God, your entire reality becomes a conversation. You notice divine patterns, spiritual nudges, and recurring themes. Life becomes symbolic, meaningful, and guided. Your steps are no longer accidental, they are orchestrated. 10. You release past pain and step into emotional maturity. Alignment requires emotional healing. One of the biggest signs you are aligned with God's path is your ability to let go of past hurts, grudges, resentment, and emotional weight. You stop carrying what God has already healed. Your heart becomes lighter, clearer, and more open. You respond differently. You forgive easily. You understand deeply. Maturity replaces reaction. Wisdom replaces wounds. Compassion replaces anger. You become who God intended, not broken, but reborn. 11. You attract peaceful, spiritually aligned connections. Once you are aligned with God, your relationships shift. People who cannot match your frequency fall away. People who nourish your soul begin to appear. These connections are effortless, respectful, uplifting, and spiritually supportive. Your circle may become smaller, but it becomes divine. God removes those who drain you and replaces them with those who align with your mission. 12. You feel called toward a higher purpose. Perhaps the most powerful sign is the awakening of purpose. You feel pulled toward something greater, something meaningful, something God orchestrated. This calling becomes louder and harder to ignore. It may not reveal itself all at once, but you feel its presence. You know that your life is not random. You know you were chosen for something sacred. You know your steps are leading somewhere divine. Purpose becomes your compass, and alignment becomes your path. When you align with God's sacred path, you don't chase destiny, you walk into it. Your life begins to reflect divine order, divine protection, and divine transformation. You start to see yourself not as someone wandering aimlessly, but as someone guided intentionally. These signs are your confirmation. You are aligned, you are chosen, and you are walking exactly where God needs you to be. Conclusion. Your sacred journey is non-negotiable. Chosen one, as you reflect on the path you walk, understand this. Your journey is sacred, and it is non-negotiable. The calling placed upon your life is not a suggestion, it is a mandate from God. No distraction, no doubt, no fear, and no external force can derail what has been divinely orchestrated. Every step you take, every choice you make, and every moment of faith strengthens the mission entrusted to you. Your path may be solitary, your responsibilities heavy, and the challenges immense. But each of these elements is precisely what confirms your identity as a chosen vessel. Do not compare your journey to that of others, for they cannot carry your weight, see your vision, or feel the divine guidance that propels you forward. What may seem lonely or difficult is, in reality, a sacred crucible designed to purify, strengthen, and elevate your spirit. Embrace it fully. Stand firm in the truth that your path is too sacred for ordinary understanding and too vital to be abandoned. Carry your mission with courage and unwavering faith. Protect your energy, trust the invisible forces that guide you, and remain aligned with God's will. The world may not understand, but the chosen know. The chosen rise. Remember, chosen one, your path is not temporary. It is eternal, divinely protected, and essential. Walk boldly, walk alone if you must, and never waver, for your sacred journey is the foundation of your purpose, your power, and your divine legacy.